All right, so here we are in chapter 36, talking about national identities in several regions of the world. This is the second heading, which is on Africa, and we're on the second subheading, which is the colonial economy. And also, we have two key economic objectives we need you to know about. So, what the colonizers wanted to do is number one, is they wanted these colonies to be able to pay for themselves. They didn't want to have to keep pouring money into it. They wanted to go ahead and tax the people of that colony enough to keep them under their thumb. The second um, goal that they had was to turn these African colonies into export-oriented economies, so that a lot of stuff would be shipped out, not for the benefit of the people of Africa, but for the people who were doing the colonizing. So these colonial powers did do a lot of infrastructure building at this time, but it's crucial to note that all of these things, ports, roads, railroads, telephone wires, all of those things are based on the idea that they want the Europeans and businesses to make money off of it. So all of this infrastructure is made to communicate with Europe or with the different parts of the colony, which are going to make sure that things are exported. The roads are going to head right to a port, things of that nature. So the other thing that's important to note is we're going to have some changes to the farming and mining in these areas. Again, what's going to end up happening is that there's going to be a lot of colonial taxation, again, trying to do that first, to hit that first goal. But the other thing they want is they want an export economy. And so by having taxes, they're going to force farmers to have to sell cash crops. So what they're going to need to do is the easiest way to make money to pay up for the taxes is to specialize in the crops of the area and then sell that off so that they can pay their taxes. And so we're going to have a lot of things such as peanuts from Senegal, cotton from Uganda, cacao from the Gold Coast, rubber from the Congo, palm oil, so on and so forth. The other thing that's going to end up happening is that in these areas, if there's a bunch of white settlers, what's going to end up happening is that the white settlers will get the best of the land, which is another unfortunate thing that these colonial powers do. Okay. The other thing that's important to note is it's just not agriculture that's being grown. Mining is especially important in Africa. So copper, gold, and diamonds will also be found and shipped off to Europe at bargain basement prices for themselves. The other thing that's going to happen is that these types of labor are going to have a real difficult effect socially on the people of Africa, because in some cases men are going to have to just move to the mine or move to these places to be able to have a job. So that's going to be very difficult. And this work that they're doing, the labor practices, unfortunately, are going to be incredibly rigorous. It's basically going to be slavery by another name. So sometimes they're going to say the quiet part out loud. So, for instance, this Kenyan colonizer talks about, we have stolen their land, now we're still going to steal their limbs. Compulsory labor is the corollary to our occupation of the country. So what's going to end up happening is that these people who are going to be working in these fields and in these mines are going to just have brutal working conditions. And at some points, they're going to be forced labor. So they essentially are going to be slaves. That your book talks about how the French are at times going to round up like 10,000 workers annually to do this incredibly backbreaking work to make the economy run, but not an economy for Africa, an economy for the colonizing powers who want to make money off of Africa.